So I get a lot of questions about squatting every day and just training every day. People usually make a comment along the lines of, how do you find the time to train every single day? So in this video, I really don't have time to train. So I'm gonna basically do a one take. I'm gonna show you guys how long it takes for me to get through kind of like a minimal session where I'm gonna just work up to a maximum front squat and then call it a day. I'm in the middle of night shifts, it's Mother's Day, I need to go to lunch. I don't really have time to train, but I gotta squat every day, right? That's kind of my do thing here. So it's gonna let you guys see exactly what I do and how long it takes me to get to a max single of front squat today. And then hopefully it gives you an appreciation that everyone has time to train. No one can tell me they don't have 15-20 minutes to train. This is basically the busiest of people in the world can make this workout work. So anyway, check it out and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Cheers. I'll even include this thing in the video, putting my shoes on, just so you guys really get the appreciation of how long it takes me to actually get through a session. I always find it interesting that people say, I don't have time to train every day. I'm like, man, I don't know what idea of training you've got in your mind, but training can be anything, man. And think about it, if you put 20 minutes in every single day, that adds up over the week, right? So, I'm of the belief that everyone's got time. This stretch helps me out with the lats, trying to make it easier for the front squat position. I feel like that's the limiting factor when it comes to the front rack. It's just the tight lats and not having the ability to kind of raise your elbows up in the air, keep them there as you descend especially. Doesn't help that I have the world's tightest pants on right now. Oh well, they didn't think of that. I was getting ready. Now obviously if you don't train every day, you might need a longer warm-up. I've said this in the past in my previous videos that when you're squatting every day, it seems as though you can just pick up 80% of your max and just go from there. Literally that's how I feel every day. Like this is just, takes me so little time to kind of warm up. You can probably hear my squeaky shoes. So these are the Nike Remaleos that I bought probably 4 or 5 years ago. I bought it from a website called Eastbay. At the time it was new to me. You guys probably from the States know about Eastbay. What's the deal with them? Like, are they just a Chinese kind of outlet company? Because I ordered 2 shoes that time, and the other pair was kind of like an Adidas Superstars or something like that. That shoe fell apart within like 6 months, and this thing started squeaking like within 3 months. So if anyone out there has got these shoes, tell me, do they squeak? Is this like an Eastbay thing? Are they supposed to be a good quality shoe? Like, they feel good, it's just the squeakiness that annoys me. It's weird. Alright, that's 80 done. Go to 100. Alright, so that's 100 kilos in the bar now. That's how I generally go. I go empty bar for a couple of reps, 60 for a couple of reps, go to 80, then 100, and then I usually go 120 and then 140. And that's usually a day. And then most days, I back off with 5 sets of 5 for 70%. And that portion maybe takes me another, oh God, probably 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And that's basically my squat every day program for the moment. Every other day I'll do back squats as well. And I usually strip the bar back to 100 kilos, work my way back up to whatever comfortable training rep max I can do that day, and that's usually it. So it'll be interesting how quickly I can get there. I think it's already been like 5-10 minutes now. Alright, 100 kilos. A lot of people make the assumption that this front rack position is difficult because of the limited kind of range of motion in the wrist. I'm not an expert at this, obviously. I'm really new at the whole front rack positioning, but what I've read, what I've experienced, it doesn't really have a lot to do with the wrist. It has everything to do with your flexibility through the shoulder girdle. So the more of this you can do, the better it is, right? If you think bars resting on your clavicles and you completely drop your elbows down, your wrist now has to freaking cock back all this distance. If the bar is sitting on your clavicle and you raise your elbows up all the way like this, now the amount of flexion, the amount of extension your wrist needs to get to be in the rack position is a lot less. That's difficult because the bar sitting on your clavicle, it wants to fold you forward. So the number one thing you got to think of is keeping your chest up, and a lot of people look up. So if you can maintain this posture, then elbows up and the wrist position becomes easy. So it's one of those things that, you know, if you look at the professionals, you know, the Olympic weightlifters, you know, their wrists are not freaking bent back like crazy. You know, they can maintain that upper back positioning. Therefore, they have a much more vertical squat, and you know, they can go from a front rack position to a clean. So, sorry, to a press, to a jerk. So, yeah, it's just something I picked up. I think a lot of you guys have said, you know, how, like, as if your wrist doesn't hurt. My wrist does feel a little bit uncomfortable in this position, but it's not because like I've cocked the back heaps. The whole point of the cueing is basically to keep your elbows up. That's all I think about, and for that, what helps me out the most is if I keep my chin up. So if I just basically look up into the ceiling, it's kind of easy. Whereas if I drop my head, see what happens when I drop my head? Everything kind of drops. So I don't know, that's where I stand with that at the moment. All right, let's go 120. Ah, 120. Oh yeah, 140. This is usually my max for front squat, my training max, if you can call it. My absolute max is 150. I did that the first day I tried front squatting in this Squat Everyday program. I've said this before, but like for me, leg power is not the issue. For me, it's the upper back, man. He just wants to fold me over. And so I kind of lean over, and then I've got to battle on my hands, literally on my hands here, where he just wants to fold me over. And obviously, the more you fold over, the harder it is on your back, and you end up dropping the bar. So let's see what I can do with 140 today. Oh. I wonder how long it's been, probably 10 minutes or something. Guess we'll see. Let's see how this feels. Well, that's 140. That's the session for today. So there you go, guys. You can, you know, see how long it takes me to get through my first part of my squat session. Like I said before, usually I do a back off sets, bunch of back off sets. But you know what I mean? Like everyone's got time for this shit. 10, 15 minutes every day. That's the program basically, squat every day. Most days I have a bit more time to kind of play with and end up doing some other movements. But this is kind of the bare bones squat every day squat session. So I hope it gives you an idea. Like, this doesn't have to be a drawn out process, an hour long squatting, foam rolling for 50 minutes, you know, stretch for 50 minutes. When you move every day, movement becomes really easy. And so that's the whole point. That's why I like this so much. A lot of people think it takes a lot of time to do this. It's actually taking less time than normal training because your body's so accustomed to the move. It's just ready to move basically. So like I said to you before, I could probably put 80% on the bar and just squat that as my first set straight out of bed, because my whole system is kind of so used to, you know, having axial loading, so used to kind of going through the range of motions required, that it's kind of like second nature. And that's what I like. I like being always ready. I like feeling like an athlete year round. So anyway, that's it. I'm not gonna rant anymore. I gotta go really. So get you guys next time. Ooh, mosquito. No more. See you guys.